In this English pronunciation tutorial, you're going to improve your English speech by learning the English diphthong I. I'm going to give you a simple 5-step process that I use with my English pronunciation clients to help them learn this English diphthong, and most importantly, to integrate it correctly into their English speech. It's going to be a really, really useful pronunciation tutorial to help you speak better English with more confidence. So make sure to do the exercises that I'm going to give you and watch until the end of the video to get the very most out of the lesson and get the exercises that you're going to get right at the end of the video. If you feel like learning the English diphthongs and improving your English pronunciation will help you to speak English with more confidence, then make sure to subscribe and turn notifications on for weekly English pronunciation tutorials. Let's get started with the 5-step process. So step 1 and step 2 is going to be to actually learn these two sounds. So let's look at step 1. I. We're starting with the English vowel sound a. I've got some English pronunciation tutorials specifically for this vowel sound and the I sound, so they'll pop up at the top of the video if you want to go off and click on them. But for now, we're just going to look at the sound in a bit more detail. So a. Are my lips rounded or unrounded? The lips are unrounded for a. It's a short vowel sound. All English diphthongs are made of short vowel sounds. And it comes from the front of my mouth. Okay, practice making this sound, and once you feel comfortable making this sound, we can then move on to the next English vowel sound, which is I. Are my lips rounded or unrounded? Of course, they're unrounded. I. Is my mouth open or closed? It's almost completely closed. I. My lips are stretched wide. I. The vowel sound is coming from the front of my mouth. I. So this diphthong, it's all coming from the front of your mouth. I. If I turn sideways, I'm basically going I. Okay, it's actually a very simple diphthong to make. So practice making the I sound, I. Make sure it's not E, or make sure it's not or anything like that. It wants to be a nice, crisp I sound. I. I've got a tutorial for that sound here. Now, step 3, I'm going to give you 3 brilliant exercises for actually putting these two sounds together to help you get comfortable actually making the diphthong correctly. So we're going to start with exercise 1, which is just going between the two sounds. A, I, a, I, a, I, a. Now, when you do this, listen to yourself doing it and make sure that you're actually making the sounds correctly. A, I, a, I, a, I, a, I. Okay, you don't want to be getting the sounds incorrectly. If you are, go back and look at the individual sounds. The next exercise is going to be half individual sounds, half the diphthong itself. Okay, so what we're going to do is go I, 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 I. Okay, nice and slowly, nice and controlled. It might feel unnatural, so just practice it and practice it and practice it until it becomes natural. The third exercise, and this is really going to test your ability to actually make the diphthong correctly, is to practice going between the two sounds, making the diphthong, but doing it really slowly and really controlled. It would look like this. I, 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 I. Okay, you can also practice doing it even slower than that. I. And when you do that, just really try to be aware and actually feel your mouth moving slowly between the two sounds, because in doing that, you're going to notice that you're actually going through other vowel sounds in English, and it's really just going to help you to develop a complete awareness of where these two vowel sounds are coming from in your mouth. So that's step 3. Step 4 is to look at 10 words that contain this diphthong in English. So we're now looking at actually combining the diphthong with other words in English. The first word is one of the most common words in English, and I'm sure you already say it all the time. Hi, 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 hi. Word 2, also one of the most common words in English, is my. My. This is my jacket. My. When you make these sounds and these words, make sure that you're making the sound before and after the diphthong correctly. And again, just like in the third exercise I gave you, go through them really slowly to begin with to make sure that you're actually transitioning correctly between the two sounds. Word 3, nice and simple, pie, 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 pie. Word 4, I. That is actually the diphthong itself. I is just simply this diphthong. There's no other sounds attached to it. And the reason why I'm giving you simple words here is so you can get comfortable just making the diphthong with one sound or one sound at either end of the diphthong. This is really important to get started making it correctly. Next, might, 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 might. I might go to the gym later. I might go to the gym later. Next word, flight, flight, flight. I love taking flights. I've just come back from Costa Rica, so I've just done a very long flight. I've just done a very long flight. Flight, flight, flight. And actually, if you want to see more about my trip to Costa Rica, then make sure to follow me on Instagram at the link below, where I did a lot of filming and content about the time out there. Next, delight, 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 delight. I delight in making English pronunciation videos. Or I could say that that film is delightful. It's a delightful film. It's a really, really delightful, lovely film. Next, supply, 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 supply. I'm supplying you here with English pronunciation exercises. I'm supplying you with English exercises. Apply, 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 apply. I'm going to apply to go to university in London, or I'm going to apply for a visa to go to that country. Apply, apply, apply. And finally, and for me, this is an important word in my life, and I hope that you think so too, is the word Michael. Michael, 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 Michael. Okay, my name is Michael. So right there you've got 10 examples of this English diphthong in English words. I'm now going to give you 3 sentences that contain this diphthong in multiple words in the sentence. And this is really going to train you, now that you can pronounce the diphthong correctly, to actually get comfortable integrating it into complete English speech. So I'm going to start with the first one by saying, Michael likes to delight with rhymes. Michael likes to delight with rhymes. Michael likes to delight with rhymes. Next, I might take a flight tomorrow night. I might take a flight tomorrow night. I might take a flight tomorrow night. And sentence 3, I tried to apply to supply fine diamonds. This is a real tongue twister. This might be quite difficult. I tried to apply to supply fine diamonds. I tried to apply to supply fine diamonds. Okay? So we've gone through the 5 steps. You've learned the 2 individual sounds that make the diphthong. You've then learned an exercise to help you put the 2 sounds together to correctly make the diphthong. You've then learned words that actually use this diphthong in English. And finally, you've learned how to integrate these words into your English speech. Practice and practice and practice with this until it becomes natural, because diphthongs are an essential part of English pronunciation. Okay? If you found this video useful, then make sure to leave a thumbs up and subscribe for more English pronunciation tutorials that come out like this on a weekly basis. And that's really going to enable you to improve your English and speak the language with more confidence. Thumbs up, and I'll see you next week for next week's English pronunciation tutorial. Watch this video next, which is really going to help you develop another aspect of your English pronunciation. Thumbs up, see you next week.